Call of Duty 2017. What is going to be happening? Are we going to be going back into space? Are we going to be throwing it back to traditional warfare? That's what we're going to be talking about today because we have our very first piece of information about it. And after the interesting reception of Infinite Warfare, I'm sure you guys are very excited to know what's going to be coming this year, the brand new Call of Duty. For those of you guys that don't know, yesterday Activision had an investor call, which basically summarizes the past year's previous performance, not only financially, but also how sales went and how they're going to be doing moving forwards into the new year. Obviously, this year, 2017. So we're going to be covering off COD 2017. We're going to be covering off Activision's own opinions of how well Infinite Warfare sold, and also what kind of content we're going to be getting for the current Call of Duties throughout this year, leading up to the brand new release of COD 2017. This is definitely going to be an interesting one, guys. So let's kick it off with Activision's own quotes on Infinite Warfare and how they felt it went on launch. So, directly from the Activision investor call, they say, Activision's November release, Infinite Warfare, was a high-quality, innovative game that paired with Modern Warfare Remastered. Obviously, it offered a tremendous amount of value and gameplay variety. However, sales underperformed our expectations, and it's clear that for a portion of our audience, that space setting just did not resonate. Now, for a long time, people have been saying that space warfare would be a cool place to go to, but recently, especially with the launch of Battlefield 1, which threw it back to World War style warfare, people have been vibing with that a lot more, and the space setting for Infinite Warfare didn't really gel very well for a lot of people. And as we know, this is probably the most unpopular new Call of Duty since I can ever remember. They go on to say that last year, I don't think we got that balance quite right between innovation and keeping the core fans happy. Infinite Warfare had a ton of great gameplay innovations that many of our fans appreciated, but it also had a setting that didn't appeal to everyone else. It was definitely mixed feedback. Activision have openly acknowledged that with Infinite Warfare, but what does this mean moving forwards? What does it mean for the next year if Activision are openly saying that their brand new flagship Call of Duty title has not done as well as they wanted? Well, for those guys that do not know, there's a 3-year development cycle between Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer Games, and Treyarch. Treyarch made Black Ops 3, Infinity Ward made Infinite Warfare, which means Sledgehammer Games are coming up next to make the 2017 Call of Duty. But in this current period, we now have 3 main Call of Duty games that are being supported. The newly released Infinite Warfare, which came alongside obviously Modern Warfare Remastered, but they are also supporting Black Ops 3 as well. We know that. I've been doing supply drop openings this week with brand new weapons, and I've been loving it. You guys have been enjoying it. So Activision openly say that this year they're going to be supporting for the very first time 3 games at once, which means you can expect new content for not only Modern Warfare Remastered and Infinite Warfare, but they're also going to be supporting Black Ops 3 as well. Now, obviously we've had new weapons so far, but does this hint at a possible DLC 5, which has never happened before for Call of Duty? It's always just been 4, a DLC 5 for Call of Duty Black Ops 3. This would mean obviously a brand new zombies map, it would mean new multiplayer maps, it would mean we'd get for the very first time a DLC pack released for Call of Duty after its full yearly release, which could be very exciting. Let me know down below in the comment section, would you want to see a DLC 5 pack for Call of Duty Black Ops 3 this year? Now, a little bit controversial, but Activision openly talked about how much money they made from in-game content sales for 2016. That's obviously not just the things like DLC packs, but also microtransactions like all the supply drops you get in the Call of Duty title. This also includes all the other Activision Blizzard games, so that's Overwatch as well, and they also have supply drops in those games as well. They're actually called loot boxes, and I've been playing a little bit of Overwatch recently. It is very fun indeed. But they said in 2016 they made $3.6 billion from in-game content sales. It is absolutely crazy. They say Black Ops 3 had record add-on revenues, which was actually greater than all the map pack sales put together as well. So if you're wondering why we always see all these supply drops, all these new guns put into supply drops in Call of Duty games, it's because from a financial standpoint, they know that their greatest revenue source at the moment is coming from all of those microtransactions for things like supply drops, all those camos, all those weapons that everyone's keep on re-rolling for. If you think about the $40 to $50 maybe you spend on the Call of Duty title, you're probably putting that in a lot more through then the microtransactions, which means Activision a lot more focused on getting people to pay a little bit more money once they've bought the game than necessarily just getting more people to buy the game, if that makes sense. So it's interesting because obviously with this success, it means you're going to see supply drops stay. I hope it's done in a similar fashion to Modern Warfare Remastered. I did a live stream of that recently. You can actually forge the guns that are in the supply drops in other ways. You don't have to just get them directly from supply drops, because in Black Ops 3, getting the guns you want is near impossible. I guess a lot of you guys have been playing Black Ops 3 since day one and still don't necessarily have the weapons you want from supply drops, but don't want to dump hundreds and hundreds of dollars into the game. So we'll see how Activision move forward with supply drops of all their games and Call of Duty obviously this year, and hopefully they balance out the fact that you can get them in supply drops, but there's also a way of getting them in-game without spending any money. That would be perfect. And finally, guys, the bit you've all been waiting for, Call of Duty 2017, baby. Now, I mentioned a 3-year cycle. This year is up to Sledgehammer Games. They've only ever made one Call of Duty title so far. That was Advanced Warfare. I think it was a good game. However, it definitely had some issues. A lot of people thought that the thrust jumping was a little bit too much, and arguably the skill-based matchmaking was a little bit too aggressive, and sometimes the lobbies just weren't fun to play. But putting that behind us, they've had many a years now, 2 years in fact, to work on the Call of Duty game that's going to be coming out this year, and for the very first time, they've given at least quotes and pieces of information hinting as to what it's going to be, when it's going to be based, and what we can expect for the gameplay. Now, reveals for this game will probably be actually happening soonish, especially teasers, so stay tuned on that channel for this, but directly from Activision, this is what they say. In 2017, Activision will take Call of Duty back to its roots, and traditional combat will once again take center stage. This is what our dedicated community of Call of Duty players and Sledgehammer Games developing this year's title are most excited about. So guys, what can we take from this small quote of our very first piece of information for Call of Duty 2017? Obviously, the core thing here is the fact they're mentioning traditional combat. They've literally gone all out and said traditional combat, which means for a lot of people that hopefully we're going to be getting something called boots on the ground. Boots on the ground means that there's no thruster jumping on any level. It's like your classic Call of Duties. And believe it or not, the last time we've had a boots on the ground Call of Duty would be Call of Duty Ghosts from Infinity Ward. And after that, every single game has had some form of thruster jump in it. So people really want to go back to that traditional combat. For any of you guys that haven't really played the older Call of Duties, maybe only picked up Infinite Warfare, the best way to compare it is Modern Warfare Remastered is on the ground, boots on the ground, and Infinite Warfare is thruster jumping around everywhere. I'll put 2 comments down below in the description. You guys can vote up which one you prefer. It'll be interesting to see what you guys are saying. Now, obviously they don't go outright to say boots on the ground, so you could argue that maybe it's not necessarily happening. We're just trying to get us excited, trying to make us think it's going to be happening. Well, if we head over to Glenn Schofield's Twitter account, he is one of the co-founders of Sledgehammer Games. He actually tweeted out just after this Activision meeting happened saying, "I found Condre's boots on the ground." Michael Condrey is his co-founder of Sledgehammer Games. Those two work together, obviously, at Sledgehammer Games. And this guy's literally gone out and tweeted boots on the ground. He has pretty much gone and confirmed it for us. I mean, obviously they're pink, like cowboy boots, but he still confirmed the fact that we will be getting boots on the ground for Call of Duty 2017. Now, if we can look over all the information from this financial call and work out our best bets on Call of Duty 2017, we can pretty much say it's definitely not going to be set in space, because that was such an unpopular setting for this year's Call of Duty, and Activision recognized that. We've had a lot of modern Call of Duty titles as of recent, and I think throwing it back to World War I or World War II, or maybe any civil wars that happened around that time, could potentially be the setting for Call of Duty 2017. So an old school setting, boots on the ground, developed by Sledgehammer Games, who I honestly have a lot of confidence in. I think this year, 2017, could be a great year for Call of Duty. And leading up to its release, which is always November this year, guys, we have got support for 3 Call of Duty titles. I'm sure you guys like at least one of Black Ops 3, Modern Warfare Remastered, or Infinite Warfare to keep you guys busy over the next year with Call of Duty games. As I said, I think teasers and like an announcement trailer is on its way for this brand new Call of Duty, and obviously you'll see it right here first on this channel, so make sure you're subscribed and you're staying tuned for that. But that is a lot of information from that one Activision crew. Let me know what you think of all this down below in the comment section, and again, click like on one of the comments letting me know if you prefer boots on the ground or jumping around like a crazy man with all those thrusters in the air. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I'm definitely excited now for Call of Duty 2017. I'll be keeping you guys updated. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Call of Duty videos, and I'll see you guys very soon.